Not all, those two are, but it was supposed to be. But I'm not.
Presenting is in the building.
Yeah, he was coming. Oh, I can't read with these. Lord Jesus.
Oh.
That's so cute.
Good place, yeah.
We will now call this meeting to order. City of New Haven meeting agenda, Youth Services Committee. Meeting can be viewed on Board of Alders YouTube. The Youth Services Committee will meet in person on Wednesday, November 5th, 2025 at 6 p.m. located at 165 Church Street, second floor, Board of Alders Chamber, New Haven, Connecticut, to hear updates from the city's youth board members. Per order, Honorable Kimberly Edwards, Chair, attests Honorable Michael Smart, City Clerk. If you need an accessibility-related accommodation, please contact 203-946-7651 voice or 203-946-8582 TTY. In accordance with the City of New Haven COVID-19 policies, masks are now optional at meetings. Public may send comments to public testimony at newhavenct.gov. So thank you all for being here tonight. Tonight, we're just having a powwow or workshop. This is in person, of course, as we already stated, and as you can see. And we're just going to hear from some of the city's youth board members that are on the various boards in our city. So what we're going to do is, I'm first going to have the committee members introduce themselves, starting on the right, and then we'll call our members up.
Good evening, Brittany Mayberry Nightblack, Ward 20.
Good evening, Carmen Rodriguez, Ward 6.
Frank Redenti, Ward 15.
And Kimberly Edwards, Ward 19. I'll now call up any members, youth services, not youth services, but any of our youth members that are present tonight. They can come to the podium, please. Come have a seat at the table with us.
Make sure.
Thank you for being here with us tonight. What we would have you do before you start speaking or before we ask you questions is just state your name and address for the record.
Oh, and
Yeah.
hi, my name is Rania Das. I am a senior at Hoffman School and a youth representative on the New Haven Youth Commission. And I live at 470 Whitney Avenue, apartment B2, New Haven, Connecticut, 06511.
You can talk louder.
Yeah,
You don't
move
have
back
to worry
towards
about it. You don't worry about it.
You can yell
If you
at
need
us.
to, you can, yeah, speak up, Ron.
We yell at each other.
You
so
can
yell
do,
at us.
closer to
do
you.
we have any other members that are on our, any of our committees here tonight?
Anybody else here?
Come up, please.
Aren't they all on committee?
No. Come on in, come join the party.
Join the party. Tell us
This
your
is
story.
cool conflict.
So I'm not a youth member, but I am the chair of the youth commission.
That's all right.
Perfect.
And just state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Oliver Augustin, and I live at 780 Winchester Avenue, number 1.
All right. So we're here, this is totally, I know, you all know what you're doing anyway. You can just introduce yourselves, which you already gave us your names. You told us your committee you're on, and just talk a little bit about what you're doing on the committee and or your interests, things like that, please.
So I'll start?
Yeah.
Okay. So as the chair of the youth commission, my main goal has been to build up the infrastructure needed for the youth commission to continue to operate in the future. So I guess the biggest successes were getting a Gmail account so that there's a permanent like communications. That also comes with a phone number, so just in case at some point in the future we could take phone calls or anything. Putting together the bylaws, putting together the various documents that are needed for the commission to function, as well as working towards getting a bank account so we can handle finances, donations, expenses, etc.
Thank you. And Ronnie, you can talk about, I know you got a lot of hats too, because I see your name everywhere. I'm just gonna let you know, it's a great thing, and we love that, and you're involved. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Have at
so I am actually on the Youth Commission's research subcommittee. And we've actually been working towards creating a report on high school aged youth, the state of high school aged youth. So we're sort of in the initial phases of planning that, and we do plan on meeting outside of the regularly scheduled youth commission meeting time to sort of plan that out. We're still discussing like how we would best reach that age group, just because, especially post-COVID, it's been kind of difficult to target high school aged youth just because of a lot of like chronic absenteeism. We've also, this is less within the research subcommittee, but more as a larger commission, we've been working towards a youth symposium on mental health and gun violence. That's actually been spearheaded by Commissioner Judge Wilson and Commissioner Angelina Wilson. So we have been having, or we do plan to have meetings outside of regular commission meetings as well to start planning that.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from our members that are here tonight? You can ask any questions you want. This is kind of casual because it's a workshop. Alder Redenti?
Thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. I just wanted to comment that I've worked my entire career around youth violence and gun violence, so whatever you would need around that symposium, as far as help, I'd be willing to help. That's it.
That's it?
Madam Chair,
Okay.
you're great.
Any other comments? I'm gonna speak to you, and it might pull something else out when you talk about, because I've been on your meetings. Thank you for having me. That's all I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna say more. No, thank you for having me. And I do see where you are getting things in order. The bylaws, all the different committees, and I think it's a great thing. Me being one of the newer members, I'm gonna say newer because it's been what, almost a year, not quite a year yet. You're doing a lot, both of you. You as chair and you as a member. And like I was saying, Ronnie, I see you participated in a lot of different, I'm gonna say activities because I can't get the words right. And you tend to bring back a lot of information as far as different symposiums or other events you've been to around youth and everything. So I do want to thank both of you for the commitment to trying to empower and get services and be a resource and help get those resources out to community, because I know in our meetings we talk about that a lot. And there's serious meetings about what we can do or what is needed in our communities. I know the talk around the surveys has been a big thing. The symposium is a big thing. And it takes a lot of work, and it also takes a lot of commitment. Maybe my question is this: we just want to make sure we're a support to this group and any other youth groups in the city and in the communities. And we want to make sure we're able to work together, meaning if there's something we can help do, and or even if it's dissemination of information and making sure we're spreading the word. Don't be hesitant to tap our shoulders or contact us or send us an email. You know, it doesn't have to be a formal request. It can be something informal. Just like when we do things like our trunk or treat, I'm just going to use that as an example.
That's your favorite one.
Yes, because I like candy. And it brings joy to the kids in the community. I love kids. I love active kids. You know, I love the hard to reach kids because it's real and it's a conversation, and they're people. And, you know, I talk to kids like I talk to adults, and it's a conversation and it's a flow. So it's needed. Go, Alder Redenti.
Where am I going?
I think you have your hand up for
No,
something,
ma'am.
or that was your suggestion. So we do thank you for the work you're doing. And, you know, can you speak more of what you want this to turn into? Not just your symposium, like what is your personal feeling on how you want this to turn out, your committees and your work on the committees for our city?
So what I want to see this turn into is an annual project. So every year the youth commission is taking stock of what's happening to kids in the city and then building a trend. Because from what I've seen, everyone has like a bunch of suggestions on what to do, but there is no repository on what's been done before, how effective was it, and how long were any of these potential solutions tried. So I want that to become a steady habit out of the youth commission, so that way we can actually measure and track the changes. Because as it stands right now, the city's kids are in a crisis. There's just no getting around that. And if the crisis isn't managed quickly, what's going to happen is that you're going to have each successive generation of New Haven youth end up worse off, and then they're going to grow up, become damaged adults, we're going to produce broken families, and then you're going to repeat the cycle over and over again.
Well said.
Mhm. Very well said. What's your thoughts, Ronnie?
No, I definitely agree with that. And I think that personally, what I want to see from the youth commission is that I think, as you were saying, that our city's youth are in a crisis, and I do think that the youth commission, we have the power to play a role in changing that and providing more, like holding the city accountable. That, you know, we also have a responsibility to serve our city's youth. Like, I'll say that I personally have never been disconnected, and I'm privileged to be that way, but I also think that I have a responsibility to stand up for my peers, right? Because I know so many kids my age who have lived vastly different experiences than I have. And I just think that, like, I could make a choice to just sit back and not do anything, but I don't want to do that. I want to use that privilege that I have to help my peers and my friends out as best I can. And I think that what we're doing with the youth symposium, I'm hoping that can also turn into an annual thing as well, because I want my peers to come away with strategies to actually tackle the disconnection that they currently face.
Thank you. Very well stated. I'm gonna go on further with that, and hopefully I'm not repetitive. How do you think, and this is not a scientific answer I'm looking for, what do you think we can do, either as a youth commission or just people in our city, period, to try to get more of our youth involved in doing some of this stuff? Letting them know you don't have to be a professional, you know, event planner, or, you know, you don't have to be a subject matter expert. You can get involved and be hands-on and, you know, help do some of this work, and help get other peers involved. What do you think? How do you think we can do that? Any thoughts at all?
I guess as the board of alders, like the main thing you guys can do is seeing what kind of ordinances can be passed to make sure that whenever you have kids in a crisis situation, I don't know what kind of metric it could be, whether it could be based off of grades or any kind of marker, to make it so that these kids are able to be put into some kind of, how should I describe it? Almost like an emergency program. There's already similar programs, but I think their main goal is simply just to warehouse the kids long enough until they're like adults, and then they're no longer somebody's problem. Instead, they need actual mentorship. So I think the closest one I've seen is like Emerge. It's mostly a program that's focused on like inmates and trying to return them back into society. But one of the main things that they focus on is practical skill sets. So the trades, skilled physical labor. Essentially, these kids need actual skills so that when they can go out there in the real world and handle themselves, they don't have to turn to criminal alternatives. And especially since they're starting so young, that has to be nipped in the bud, whether it's I don't know, something like Scared Straight, where they're actually seeing some of these dudes that are getting locked up for 10, 15 years at a time and just straight up telling them, do not do what we're doing. If you end up here, your life is over. or finding some other guys that were on the edge. They managed to clean themselves up, get back onto the right track, so that way they can actually reach these kids, and specifically these boys, and say, there's another way.
I would say that I think it's also worth, I don't think this is something that we can tackle on our own. I think it's also worth reaching out to. There's plenty of like the New Haven like citywide student council has been doing some great work, especially in the past year, especially in the wake of like funding cuts at the federal level. I think they've been doing some really great advocacy work and really just bringing attention to the issues that matter most. So I think outreach and collaboration with them is also something really worthwhile that we could potentially look into.
Exactly. And that was one of our goals tonight. We're trying to invite, Citywide Youth Coalition, the leadership, any students or youth that are involved currently and are on some of these committees. And we're going to do it again. And we're going to have all of you here at the table. And I think my question, I probably phrased it wrong, but how do we get people like you? How do we get people like you? How do we get 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th graders to want to get involved? Period. So we just have to make sure we're reaching them and reaching the parents more that can get them to the activity. If there is an activity, I think we just really seriously have to figure out how to do more of that, to connect, to make sure we're connecting with them on the different levels. Because there's a lot of things in our city currently for students to do. We have to make sure they have access to it, or their parents have access to it. And I know it's different for each household. So we just want to make sure we're reaching out and touching, the youth at the different levels and the different ages, because it does make a difference. And it shapes and forms you. The younger you are and you're already involved in things, as you said, in that path, I feel like it gives them confidence, it gives them knowledge, and it's a great thing. So it's definitely needed in our communities. Committee members, speak up anytime you're ready to speak up about anything youth related, or to ask questions or make comments. Walter Rodriguez.
Thank you. I know that you've thrown out a lot of the thoughts and how to help the youth. Have you connected with the guidance counselors at the school? Is that something that you guys have tapped into to see? You talked about the disconnect since COVID, and we all know that, and it's just trying to get everybody back. We don't know what's going on in everybody's households. I think trying to connect with the school departments is with them to see, and like Madam Chair Edwards said, we want to get them when they're in 5th grade, when they're in 6th grade, because we can't wait till you're in high school. If there are things going on, and there's things going on in everybody's household, regardless of income. Okay, I mean, so we have to, say that. But if someone is dealing with depression, someone is dealing with loneliness, or there's trauma in the household, like you said. Grabbing them early and trying to steer them into what you guys are doing. Not that it'll be difficult, but some will shy away because they've never had that experience. So, doing that collaboration with the school system, and then you all having them feel heard and seen is important, because that's the problem. Even adults, regardless of entities you go into, some people don't feel heard and seen. And so that's a big problem with even our 5th and 6th graders. Because they're in that moment, I'm gonna be a preteen, I don't know what's going on. And I may be a single parent and not have that enough time to spend. And so then that's that gray area. We can shift this way or we can shift that way. So thinking about connecting with the school systems to see how they can help you guys if they see someone who's needing that assistance and gearing them to the youth committees that you guys have.
Okay.
That's just, thank you.
Thank you. Alder?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I will also say, collaborate with CTVIP, because that's another organization in New Haven that, deal with at-risk youth, and victims of gun violence in their families as well. And also consider going on the management team meetings in the ward. Each month, each ward has a management team meeting, so you guys can, reach out to the chair, and like present what you guys doing and offer services, or see what other organizations and other wards are doing, and see how you can, collab with them as well.
Okay. So we could set up, I don't know, like, if we go to one of the CMT meetings, we could be like one of the guest speakers and present something.
Yeah, you can ask to be put on their agenda. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
And they have them, if you go on the, city website, they'll have each management team, the days that they meet, and you guys can, reach out to the chairs, present.
Mhm. And you can attend even if you're not presenting, or if you don't live in that community. That's not to give you more stuff to do or put pressure, but that's a good suggestion. It's like, or even when, say, come up with these great events and you want them to blast it.
Yeah.
You can present when your event, you got your flyer, we're doing this, or if you're looking for volunteers for different things, it is good to reach out to them, because their emails are listed on the website. And some of them do them on Zoom meetings or hybrid too still, and some are in person. So that would be a good thing too. So when you're ready to spread the word on some activities that are happening, or even the surveys or whatever you're doing, you can ask that they be disseminated, or they send to their, what's my word? Distribution list.
Mhm.
That's my word. So, yeah. So we definitely appreciate you being on those, the commission, and the work you all are doing, and keeping us old folks in line that are on the call too. We appreciate it. We need it sometimes. Yeah, so it's much appreciated. And it's a big responsibility, being on those committees when you're committed in those commissions. And I would personally just like to thank you for your commitment to doing so and being there, and trying to empower other youth and people in our communities and our cities to see what's happening and how we need more and we need to do more too. So we look up to you all as well. Alder, take it.
Thank you. So, I just wanted to touch on some things that I heard both from you guys and from Alder Rodriguez. As I said, I've worked my entire career with at-risk youth, and I really don't like that word. I've worked for CTVIP. I've been in some of these funder meetings with organizations about at-risk kids. And what is an at-risk kid? Right now, the current definition of an at-risk kid is once you've got your first run-in with the law. Once you get that first gun charge, that first stolen car, that first drug charge, now you're at risk in their eyes, right? I learned a very disturbing number just this term of my first term as an alder from the superintendent of schools during the first Board of Ed presentation. 76.7% of our kids live in poverty. That is just a staggering number. I mean, that just blows my mind, right? That means all those kids are at risk. So why are we waiting until we catch a gun charge or have a run-in with a police officer? Why are we not treating our kids at 5 years old when they come into kindergarten that they're all at risk? Why do we wait? So I mean, just something for you guys to ponder as the youth of our city. Like, why are we waiting? I remember under the Harp administration, there was a youth STAT program. The youth STAT program empowered guys like me to identify kids in my school that had behavioral problems, academic problems, attendance problems, serious traumas at home, house fires, anything that could affect that child. We wrapped our arms around them as young as, kindergarten, first, second grade. So just something to think about. It's like, we really need to focus on the babies because they're going to grow up to the next generation of teenagers. And if we don't focus, like Alder Rodriguez said so eloquently, is that We can't wait till 5th and 6th grade. I work in the middle school right now. That's the toughest age. We pretty much lose our boys by 5th or 6th grade. Another disturbing number that I've learned in my career, when I was at Cross and I was in charge of the freshmen, we lose 60% of our young men of color after freshman year. 60% fail their first semester of high school and never catch up. And that's disturbing. And that starts when they're little. You can't wait until they're a freshman to try to rehabilitate them. If you see these traumas surfacing, if you see these behaviors surfacing in 1st and 2nd grade, address them. And I think that's where we're having a disconnect. It's just something for you guys to ponder. And I'm just really glad that we did this tonight. I mean, I didn't know too much about this, but I'm definitely going to be more involved and have my eye on this. Thank you, Madam Chair.
No problem. Any other comments from members of the committee or questions? Nothing? Any comments from members of the public? Okay. Any closing arguments? No. I mean, we're not gonna keep you long. If you want to say something else, feel free. If not, we thank you for being here tonight. We will do this again. We will be in touch. You can reach out to us. You got my number. You got my email. Or you can come to one of our meetings too. I'll present to you.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Yes,
just let me know.
I sure will. And we got ally. We've got another ally right here. And this is why we wanted to just, have a casual workshop, a meeting. That's what we try to do on this committee, and let people come and speak about things they're working on and projects or anything. That they want to talk about. It's surrounding our youth. So we're going to wrap this up. And in closing, I just want to say again, thank you. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for being involved. Thank you for spreading the word. And like I said, people will look up to you and maybe they'll want to tag along and join and commit to doing something as well. So we do thank you all for coming here tonight and being with us. So if you got comments, spit them out. If not, we're good to go.
Well, thank you for having us. This is a good opportunity to finally meet a bunch of people in person.
I like that.
I like that.
I like that.
Yes,
That was
instead of
good.
on Zoom.
I can't stand a Zoom meeting.
But it is convenient in some ways.
Mm.
But I guess when it comes to the various issues and traumas that appear very early on, it almost feels like everything's kind of delayed to address it in like middle school, just because it's out of a sense of like triage. Like there's just so many. Like when you're talking about 60-70%, it's not, that's the norm. Like the abnormal state has become the norm, and it is overwhelming the system. Like no system is designed to have more than 15, maybe 20% of a given population be in dire straits, because they're obviously going to need more time, resources, and care than the general public. So I think it really does come down to stable families, fathers in the home, mentorship, basically that kind of 24-hour prevention that only really close-knit neighborhoods and communities can provide. Because by the time we show up, I mean, we all have day jobs, we all have responsibilities, so we can pour as much as we can, but we can't be there 24/7.
Wow. Well said.
Very well.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Thank you again. I think all right, we have nothing from members of the public. We have nothing from committee members. I say we can adjourn, but we need to discuss adjournment. How about a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second, it's been seconded? Okay. Any discussion? No discussion? So it's been moved, it's been seconded, it's been moved. The motion is made. We
All in
good to
favor?
go? All in
Yes.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None? We are adjourned. Thank
You
you.
guys. I look good on camera.
Thank you.